Hello everyone and welcome to yoga. I'm Shannon and this is Alina who's going to be joining me for class today. I'm going to be taking you through a 50-minute Vinyasa Flow that is really for all levels. So I will offer some modifications. I always tell everyone, just listen to your body and make the practice work for you. That is what yoga is all about. So let's get started. We are going to start in child's pose. So go ahead and come down to your mat, knees wide, big toes touching and arms stretched forward. If that feels comfortable to you, this really should feel like a pose that is just a big It feels wonderful and amazing in your body. If it's not that way, then go ahead and find a pose that, a version of it that works for you, or you can come to a cross-legged seated position. And in your child's pose, allow yourself to just begin to relax and kind of arrive here in your practice, paying attention to how your body feels as your forehead is resting on the mat. If you'd like to make the pose a little bit more active, you can stretch your hands forward even a little bit more to create a stretch through your shoulders. And then begin to just pay attention to your breath. Not changing anything about how you're breathing, but just being aware how the breath feels as you inhale and as you exhale. Maybe notice your heartbeat. Notice your chest expanding as the air comes into your body. And then begin to deepen your breath. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose as well. So your lips are softly pressed together. Begin inhaling through your nose, creating a slight constriction at the back of your throat, and exhaling through your nose. So cultivating our Ujjayi breath, or the victorious breath that we use as we practice yoga. And continue to fill with air as you breathe in, and then allow the air to escape as you breathe out. And as we begin to move, we strive to maintain this breath. So this same awareness around our breathing, focusing again on your inhale and on your exhale. And then take your left hand, place it on top of your right hand, crawl your fingers over to the right corner of your mat. You can even shoot your left hip out a little bit to the side. You're creating a nice side body stretch as you continue here in your child's pose. And then gently walk your fingers back to center. Take your right hand, place it on top of your left. Fingers move over to the left corner of your mat. Maybe press your right hip over to the right side. Again, feeling a stretch through your side body and through your shoulder. Your forehead continues to rest on your mat. Inhale, come back to center. And then come up to tabletop, hands and knees. Your hands are directly below your shoulders, knees are hip width apart, your back is flat. So engage your core. Imagine I was gonna come and set a tray of food on your back and you need it to be able to balance. So we're not dipping at all. And then begin moving into cat-cow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your head and tailbone. Exhale, press into your hands, tuck your tailbone and arch your back. Inhale, coming back into cow. Drop or lift your head. Exhale, drop your head and tailbone and again, arch your back. Press through your hands to feel a stretch in your shoulders. Inhale, back to cow. And exhale, back to cat. So you can continue with this movement or add any other movement that feels good in your body. So allow yourself, especially at home, you don't have anyone watching you, to just feel it out. Maybe rock your hips side to side. You can even move your hips in circle a couple of times in one direction and then in another. You can rock forward and back. You can begin to stretch your wrists out. There are a lot of options. So really allow yourself to just tune in to what sounds good to you, what feels good to you. And take a few moments, again, using your breath to just move through. And there's no rush here, but as you begin to wind down, your body begins to feel balanced. Come back to your tabletop. So again, back is flat, your core is engaged. And then on an inhale, bring your right arm up, gaze up at your right fingertips. Exhale, we're gonna begin to thread the needle, but allow your right arm to hover. So you come and bring it behind your left and then just hover above the ground. Inhale, right arm comes back up. Look at your fingertips. Exhale, thread the needle again, hover one more time. And then inhale, arm comes up. And exhale, move into the full pose. So right arm comes behind left. You're gonna come to rest on your shoulder and the side of your head. Allowing for a deep shoulder stretch. You can walk your left fingertips forward if it feels comfortable to you. You can also take your left hand, wrap your low back, or leave your left hand directly below your shoulder, whatever feels best. Wherever you're at, allow yourself to just melt into the pose and find your breath. Wherever your left hand is, bring it back under your left shoulder, then press into your left hand, unwind. Right arm comes up, so counter twist, gaze up at your fingertips and bring your right hand back to the mat. And then same thing on the other side. So inhale, left arm peels up. Exhale, thread the needle, left arm behind the right, hover above the mat. Inhale, arm extends again, gaze up at your fingertips. Exhale, hover above the mat. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, move into the full pose. Coming to place your left hand on the mat, resting your shoulder, resting your head directly above your ear. And then right hand, you can walk your fingertips forward, you can wrap your low back. Again, whatever feels best to you. Find your breath. Bring your right hand directly under your shoulder. Press into your right hand. Inhale, peel your left arm up. Gaze up at your fingertips. And then find your way back to your mat. Both hands in your tabletop. And then tuck your toes. Maybe move your hands slightly forward. Press into your fingers and find your first downward dog. So lifting your hips up toward the ceiling. Fingers are spread wide, pressing into the palms of your hands. In your first downward dog, allow yourself to move a little, maybe drop one heel and then the other. We're lifting your sit bones toward the ceiling, pressing your chest towards your thighs, creating a straight line from the top of your head to your sit bones. And then take a moment to return to your breath. Next inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees and just step forward. Bring your feet to the top of the mat to meet your hands and allow yourself to hang in your forward fold. Knees can be bent as much as needed here. Head, neck, and shoulders are relaxed. You can clasp opposite elbows. Hands can be placed on your shins, down on the mat, or even wrapped behind you, your legs. If your elbows are clasped, you can rock gently side to side if that feels good to you. If you'd like to add a little bit of movement to your neck, just softly shake your head yes. Nod your head no. And then wherever your hands are, release them back down to your shins or to the mat. On an inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Hands on your shins, crown of the head toward the front of the room. Exhale, fold in, and then inhale, pressing into your feet. Sweep your arms all the way up as you come to stand. Hands come together. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up. Take your right hand, clasp your left wrist. Left leg comes behind you in a side bend. So it's a little bit of a squat, curtsy kind of thing, side bend. Opening through your left side body. Inhale, back to center. Release your hands, and then left hand clasps right wrist. Exhale, right leg comes behind the left in a right side bend. Inhale, come back to center, release your hands, cactus your arms on your exhale. Arch your back, baby back bend. Inhale, arms come up, and then exhale, forward fold, leading with your heart as you go all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift to a flat back. Exhale, fold in, plant your hands, step your feet back, find your plank pose. Your core is engaged, always an option to lower to your knees. So do whatever works best for your body. Allow yourself to find your alignment here. The middle of your elbow is pointed toward the front of the room. And then as you exhale, keeping your elbows in, lower halfway. And then inhale, drop your hips, lift your chest. Coming up into a high cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, press back into downward dog. Take a couple of rounds of breath here. Again, allowing yourself to use this as a resting place. Fingers spread wide. Again, striving for a straight line from the crown of your head to your sit bones. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop forward, coming to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, arms sweep up, come overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. So a couple more of our sun A's. You know where we're going now. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right hand clasps left. Come into the little squat. Inhale, up. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, cactus, baby back bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold in, plant your hands, step or hop back into plank. Lower halfway. Inhale, drop your hips, lift your chest. Exhale, press back into downward dog. So obviously moving a little bit quicker, building heat here. You can always go at your own pace and always skip things as well. So do whatever works for you. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop forward, come to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. So one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, move over into the right side bend with the little curtsy squat. Inhale up. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, cactus. Lift your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, fold in all the way down. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back into plank, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, press back into downward dog. So take a moment to find your breath again, focusing on your inhale and your exhale. Always an option to move to child's pose. So again, really listen to your body, tuning in for what works best for you. On your next inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop forward, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in, and then bend your knees as you rise, coming into chair pose. Arms come up, shoulders are soft away from your ears. Tailbone is tucked slightly. Weight is at the back of your heels, so gaze down, make sure you can see your toes, and you can even see if you can lift them off the mat. Imagine that you have a really tight sweatshirt on and you're zipping it up and just everything comes to the center. On your next exhale, lift your heels, drop your arms, coming into drinking bird. So a little bit of a balance challenge here. And then exhale, lower your heels back into chair. Inhale, rise to stand. Right leg comes with you. Right knee is bent. Exhale, drop your right arm, twist open to the side. Inhale, come back to center, and then right ankle crosses above your left knee. Right foot is flexed. Exhale, bend your standing leg. We're coming into standing figure 4. So you can find a drishti, a focal point on the floor or the wall in front of you to help balance. You can feel the stretch through your hip, through your glutes. Find your breath. Inhale, come back to stand, right leg lifts. And then exhale, fold forward, just a half vinyasa here. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold in, and then inhale, sweep back up to chair pose. So you gotta do everything on both sides in yoga. Inhale, lift your heels, drop your arms, drinking bird, chest is still lifted. Exhale, lower your heels, sweep your arms back up, chair. Inhale, rise to stand, left leg lifts, left foot is flexed. Exhale, left arm drops, twisting open, gazing at your side wall or whatever is over on the side of you. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left ankle above right knee. Bend your right leg as you fold down. If you're hypermobile through your hips here or need a deeper stretch, you can begin to fold forward, moving your hands toward the mat. So just find what works for you. Inhale, rise back up, straighten your standing leg. Unwind your legs. Exhale, left leg comes down, fold in. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back. You're moving through your chaturanga, or option to skip directly to downward dog. So again, always about listening to your body and listening to what is working best for you. And it changes every day. So some days, maybe we really fire it up and we challenge ourselves more. And some days, maybe we need to take it a little bit easy, and that's totally okay. So as you're finding your breath again, allowing yourself just a moment here in this restful spot. And if down dog is not restful to you, which it is work too, go ahead and move to child's pose for a moment. Next, inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float forward. Again, feet come to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, back to chair. Take a moment, settle in. Again, weight is shifted toward the back of your feet. Gaze over, make sure you're able to see your toes. And then exhale, hands come to prayer. We're gonna move into a twist here, hooking your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. You may feel your right hip shifts forward. Try to bring it back. Hands can stay in prayer here. You're pressing your hands into each other, so your twist is truly coming from center. And then come up on your toes, just on your left foot. So left heel lifts, and then definitely a balance challenge here. We're gonna step back into crescent. So left foot steps all the way back, right knee is bent, continuing to stay in our twist. Take a moment to breathe. If you fell out, it's totally fine. Just find your way back in. And then inhale, come up to crescent lunge. So arms come up overhead, shoulders are soft. Your right knee's directly over your right ankle. Take a look. If it's bending in, if it's bending out, bring it back center. Next, exhale, airplane arms. So hinging from your waist, fold forward. Arms come behind you, palms of your hands down to the ground. Gonna feel your right quad fire up here. Use your breath to move through it. And next, exhale, hands come down on either side of your foot. Step your right foot back into plank. Move through your vinyasa. You can keep your leg lifted as Alina's doing, or just a standard one, or go directly to downward dog. Again, take a moment, find your breath. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop forward, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep arms up, find chair pose again. So lots of work on our quads in this flow today. Next exhale, hands come to prayer and down to heart center, and then twist, hooking your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Again, the twist comes from center. So if you're twisting this way and your right hip is shooting forward, try to bring it back. Then lift your right heel and then prepare to take that big step back. Next exhale, step all the way back into crescent, maintaining your twist. Inhale, come up into crescent arms. So unhook, hands separate, shoulders are soft. We tend to do this a lot. So soften your shoulders, moving them away from your ears. Next exhale, fold from your waist, airplane arms, hands extend behind you. And then next exhale, hands come down, step your left foot back, move through your vinyasa, and then find your way directly to downward dog. If you need to take a little break here, go ahead and move to child's pose. Make sure that you grab a drink whenever you need it. So hydrating is always important. So we're gonna add on to what we just did. So moving a little bit quicker through this first part, and then add some balancing into it. So inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float forward. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep up into chair. Exhale, hands to prayer, and then hook. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, lift your heel. Exhale, step your left foot back. Inhale, arms sweep up to crescent. Woo, balance, always so fun. Exhale, fold forward, airplane arms. Begin to walk your left foot forward just slightly, and then begin to lift your left leg off the ground, coming into warrior three. Arms can stay airplane, arms can be prayer, arms can be extended forward. If you feel your left hip lifting, try to bring it level. Engaging your core center is going to help you a lot with this. And then begin to lift your chest, leg comes down, try to keep it off the mat. Bring your leg up so it's bent. Arms come up overhead. And then exhale, drop your left arm. We're moving into a twist. Right hand can be on your left knee, or as Alina's gonna do here, you can extend your left leg. So two options here. Inhale, come back to center and moving into eagle. So option one, left leg just comes to kickstand. Option two, do a full wrap, and then left arm comes underneath your right. Option one, the backs of your hands come together. Option two, do a double wrap. So whatever works for you. But we really want to keep elbows lifted here. If your elbows are dropping, go ahead and just have your hands on your shoulders here, and that's another great option. Next, inhale, straighten your standing leg, unwind, kind of feel like a pretzel. Left leg lifts, and then exhale, left leg goes down. Fold in, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold back in, step back. You know where we're going, move through the vinyasa, or find your way to downward dog. So same thing on the left side. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop forward, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep up, chair pose. Exhale, hands to prayer. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, lift your right heel. Exhale, step your right foot back. Inhale, sweep up, crescent. Exhale, airplane arms, hinge from your waist. And then begin to step your right foot forward. Inhale, lift, finding your version of warrior three, airplane, whatever you want to do. Right hip is level with the left. Remember to breathe. We tend to hold our breath when things get harder. Inhale, begin to come up. Right leg swings forward, try to not touch the mat, arms extend up. And then exhale, drop your right arm, come into the twist, again option. Left hand clasps your right knee or extend your leg. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, find your eagle. So again, kickstand, wrap, and this time right arm comes underneath left, single wrap, double wrap, or hands on shoulders. So whatever works for you. Inhale, straighten your standing leg, unwrap. Right leg comes up. Exhale, right foot down, fold in. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold back in, plant your hands, step or float back. Move through your vinyasa. Find downward dog. And then take a moment to rest, finding your way into child's pose. So again, the version that works for you, again, this should feel like, this feels amazing. So big toes touching, knees wide. Maybe it feels better if your arms are back rather than extending out in front of you. Head is relaxed, forehead is on the mat. If you want a slightly different version of this, you can be in puppy pose where your hips stay high. So fingers crawl forward, hips are lifted off the mat. Maybe that feels good. And then just find your breath. Pay attention, bring awareness to how your body's feeling now that we've been moving and doing some balancing and building heat. What's your heartbeat doing? Are there areas that maybe felt tense that now are a little more relaxed? Just bring awareness, pay attention to something that maybe you just don't ever notice. One of the great things about yoga is that we have the opportunity to do that. We're invited to do that. We don't do that very often in our normal busy lives. And if nothing else, just focus on your inhale with the air filling your body and your exhale with the air escaping. And take a few more rounds here of breath. On your next inhale, press up into tabletop. And then exhale, make your way to downward dog. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Take a moment first to square your hips. So our right hip naturally tends to open a little bit, but lower your right hip. You're gonna feel your core engage as you do that. And then you can open your hip if it feels good to you. So bend your right knee, your right foot falls toward the left side. Maybe move your knee in circles a little bit if that feels good. And then bring your hips back to square, so right leg extends behind you. And then gently, as you begin to bend your right knee, bring it down and then twisting over to touch your left elbow. So getting some core work in here. You can raise it a little bit, left tricep. Next inhale, extend your right leg behind you. And then exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend your leg behind you. Exhale, we're gonna come down into half pigeon. So right leg is gonna come down on the mat, okay? Right knee, right by your right wrist. Left leg extends directly behind you. We have a tendency to roll to one side. We really wanna be center as we do this. So find what works for you. If you have a pillow or a block or something, you can even move that underneath your right hip if that feels good. If this does not work in your body, just hold on and I will show you an option. But if you're gonna stay here in your pigeon, once you're centered, go ahead and begin to fold forward. You can stack your fists on top of each other so that your head and neck are relaxed. If this is bothering your hip, your knee, anything that's painful, discomfort, okay, pain not so much. So go ahead and come to your back And then you can do reverse figure 4. So your left ankle crosses above right ankle crosses above your left leg. Extend your left leg up, press your right knee toward the front, and you can get a great stretch this way through your hip. So 2 options here. Another opportunity to release. We store a lot of tension and emotion in our hips. So take the chance here to just let go. Remember your breath. And then wherever you're at, back or in your pigeon pose, on your next inhale, begin to press into your hands, lift your upper body, and then tuck your left toes, lift your knee off the ground, press into your hands, extend your right leg back, and then shake around. Get some movement back into your leg. And then with right leg is extended. Exhale, bring your foot forward, planting it in between your hands. Drop your back heel and find warrior 1. So inhale, arms sweep up. Back foot is at a 45 to 60 degree angle. Your hips are rotating toward the front of the room. They don't need to be square. Everyone's body is different, and maybe that doesn't work for you. Wherever you're at, just allow yourself to settle into this pose. Doesn't seem right to have a yoga flow without some warriors thrown in. And then on your next exhale, open to warrior 2. Back foot is parallel with the short edge of the mat. Your shoulders are stacked directly over your hips. We tend to sometimes shift forward. So center over your hips, gaze over your right fingertips if it's comfortable on your neck. Next, exhale, windmill your hands down on either side of your right foot. Step your right foot back. You find yourself in plank. Move through your vinyasa. And then make your way to downward dog. Settle in here for just 1 or 2 rounds of breath. And then when you feel ready, inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Take a moment, square your hips, feel your core engage as you do that. And then go ahead and bend your left knee, allow your hip to open. Try to keep your weight even between your right and left hand as you do that. You can circle your knee if that feels good to you. Go ahead and extend your left leg straight. Exhale, left knee bends and comes to right elbow. Inhale, extend left leg behind you. Exhale, left knee to left elbow or tricep. Inhale, extend your leg behind you. And then exhale, come down, preparing for pigeon. So left knee by left wrist. Again, allow yourself to center here. If you find yourself rocking over to the left side, come up. And then as you feel ready, go ahead and lower your upper body down to the mat. You may lay flat. You may stack your forehead on your wrists, or not your wrists, but let's say your stacked hands. And again, option, if this really is bothering your knee or any part of your body at all, then you can move to your back and do figure 4 lying on your back. So once again, you can close your eyes here. This may be uncomfortable. See if you can just breathe into the discomfort. Once again, if it's painful, that's another story. So find your way out. Next inhale, press into your hands, lift your upper body. Tuck your right toes, lift your knee off the mat, press into your hands and then extend your left leg behind you. Do some circles, get circulation back into your left leg. Then when you feel ready, left leg extends behind you, hips are square. Exhale, left leg comes forward, finding warrior 1. Drop your back foot, your right foot Allow yourself to settle into this pose. Again, shoulders are soft. Your right knee's directly over your right ankle. Next, exhale, open to warrior two, back foot parallel with the short edge of the mat, gazing over your left fingertips. Your right knee stays, left. I don't know if I said the wrong one before, sorry about that, but left knee is directly over your left ankle. So check, see if it's tweaked to the outside, bending to the inside, try to make that adjustment. Next, exhale, windmill hands down, left foot steps back, move through your vinyasa, or find your way directly into down dog. And then two options here, you can lower to hands and knees and swing your legs around to come to seated, or you can jump through to a seat. So shoot your feet to the top of the mat, beautiful. And then legs are gonna extend directly in front of you. So feet are flexed, sit bones rooted firmly into the mat. This is a pose, you're not just sitting. So really lengthen up through your spine. We haven't been seated since we started in child's pose. So take a moment, I always like to imagine there's just a string gently tucking at the top of my head to create length through the spine, shoulders are soft, feet are flexed to engage your legs. And then on your next inhale, bring your right foot in, plant the sole of your foot to your inner left thigh. So right knee is down on the mat, inhale, arms come up, and then exhale, fold in over your left leg. Hands can be on your shin or wrapping your left foot. So you should be feeling a really nice stretch through the back of your left leg. Look for areas where you can soften through your body in this pose, where you can let go. On your next inhale, release your hands, come back up to a seat. Right leg extends, and then inhale, left leg comes in, press your left foot, sole of your foot to your inner right thigh. Inhale, arms come up, exhale again, fold forward. So check in, see if you're really rounding your back. Is there any opportunity to straighten through your spine while moving your chest a little bit closer to your leg? You may be right here, and if that is perfect for you. So it doesn't matter what we're doing, it matters most how it feels for you and what works for you. Next inhale, begin to lift your chest, release your hands, come up to seated. We're gonna move into a seated twist. So left leg extends, bend your right leg. Now plant the sole of your foot into the mat. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, left arm extends up. Exhale, left elbow hooks to the outside of your right knee, or your left arm can wrap. And then with each inhale, lengthen through your spine. Each exhale, deepen the twist, but the twist is coming through your core. You feel that yourself really pressing into your backhand. Try to engage your core a little bit more so the backhand is just a support. And then with each exhale, see if you can deepen the twist a little bit more, gazing toward the back of the room. Inhale, twist to center, face center, and then exhale, unwind. Extend your right leg down. Inhale, left leg comes up, plant the sole of your foot next to your inner thigh. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale, right arm extends, and then exhale, you can again hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee, or wrap your knee, or move into a bind as Alina's doing. Lots of options. The twists help release a lot of things. I sometimes like to imagine a sponge. If you imagine wringing out a sponge, that's kind of what we're doing with our body. Inhale, gaze to the front, and then exhale, unwind. Then inhale, bring the soles of your feet towards your body, pressing them together, opening through your knees, okay? And then you can, if you'd like for a moment, you can use your thumbs to massage the bottom of your feet, which can feel really great. If your hips are really, really tight, another option here is to bring your hands behind you, allowing your hips to open this way. Both versions are going to do exactly the same thing. So again, it's all about doing what works for you. If your hands are on your feet, you can use your hands to open the soles of your feet like a book to deepen the stretch a little bit more, and then begin to fold forward. So you should be feeling a really nice stretch through your inner thigh here. Next inhale, come back up. Plant the soles of your feet. We're gonna come to balance on our sit bones and then move into boat pose. So core fires up, arms extend out in front of you. You can begin to lift one foot and then the other. You can come to tiptoes. Really wanna make sure your back stays straight here. Extend your legs out. Whew, my legs are not happy right now. And then you can also bring your hands to clasp behind your thighs. If you feel yourself rounding, then come out of it to whatever version is gonna work for you. Then exhale, go ahead and lower. And then hands extended, go ahead and lower all the way to your back. So we're doing a little bit of core work as you go down. Gonna move into bridge pose. So your feet stay planted firmly into the mat, about hip width apart. Pull them in towards your body. And then as you feel ready, press into your feet, and on an inhale, lift your hips up off the mat, peel your back vertebrae by vertebrae off the mat. And then if you would like to, you can rock gently side to side to bring your arms underneath you, clasp your hands underneath your low back as Alina is doing here. So you don't want your knees to extend in front of your feet. So if there's anything tweaking, not feeling good in your knees, you can try step lower down and then try stepping your feet just a little bit forward. So if your hands are clasped underneath you, go ahead and release them, bringing your arms to your sides, and then exhale, gently lower vertebrae by vertebrae back down to the mat. Go ahead and bring your knees in towards your chest, hands on your shins. Just rock gently side to side to release through your spine. Should feel really good. Then go ahead and come back into that same position for bridge. So two options here. I don't know what Alina feels like doing. So if she would like to do wheel, which is back bend. So hands come behind your shoulders, your fingers are pointed toward the front of the room or front of your mat. And then you can press or just move into bridge, okay? This does not have to happen in your yoga practice. So again, just an option. So you can move back into that same bridge pose. Wherever you're at, if you are in wheel, just come out really carefully, tucking your chin and gently lowering yourself back to the mat. If you're in bridge, you can come out of bridge, bring your knees in again towards your chest, rock side to side, again, releasing through your spine. And then from here, go ahead and extend your legs straight toward the ceiling. So the soles of your feet are facing the ceiling. So you can stay here in waterfall or move into shoulder stand, lifting your hips up off the ground. Your hands come to your low back. You're pressing into the back of your arms for support here. Really important that your head and your neck stay in exactly the same spot, that you're not moving around, because that can cause neck injury. And then if you would like to, from here, you can move into plow, where your legs would begin to come back behind you, moving toward the floor. They don't have to touch the floor. You can lower a little back behind you, but again, really being mindful of your neck here. If your neck does feel kind of tweaky, you can try shifting your hips slightly forward. Or you can be in waterfall where we first started with your legs extended toward the ceiling. They're all great options. If you are in plow, you can gently begin to come out of it. First, coming to support your hands at your low back if they're not there, legs extend toward the ceiling, and then lowering down again slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, until your body comes to rest back on the mat. And then take your feet wide on your mat and allow your legs to windshield wiper. So knees are gonna drop to one side together and then the other. So just another way, that's a lot of work on your back. So another way to be able to just release and kind of counteract all of the work that we did with bending, that you did, as I'm sitting here talking you through it. Once your legs fall to the left side, go ahead and leave them there, finding a version of supine twist. So arms come out to a T. You can have your left leg straight, right knee bent. You can have both legs bent on top of each other. You're gonna gaze out over your right fingertips if it's comfortable on your neck. And you can also take your left hand gently pulling on your right knee to deepen the twist here. So many options, so many versions. Just find the one that works for you. If you've lost your yoga breath, your ujjayi breath, try to come back to it here. Deep inhale, deep exhale for a few rounds of breath as we're winding down our practice. On your next inhale, gently begin to bring your knees to the center, unwind, and then you're gonna move to the opposite side. So you're maybe even gonna shift your hips slightly to the left, your knees are gonna drop over to the right, arms at a T, this time gazing over your left fingertips. Again, finding your version of this supine twist. And then allowing yourself again to return to that all-important breath. And then on your next inhale, come back to center, unwind. And then move into happy baby. So you're pulling your knees toward your armpits, hands are reaching for the soles of your feet, the bottom of your feet toward the ceiling. And then knees are wide. You can rock gently side to side if that feels good to you. Sometimes we might feel silly while we do this, but usually it feels pretty amazing. So allow yourself to just let go. You're at home. Somebody's watching you, just have them join you because it feels so good. And if there's any other movement that you want to do to close out practice, you can take a few rounds of breath here to do that. Maybe in your happy baby, you're extending both legs wide or even just one leg wide and then the other. But if there's anything else, if you want to move back into a twist, or if you're done and you are ready for Shavasana, then you can go ahead and begin to settle in to your final resting pose. And as you do that, really allow yourself to find the space you need to completely let go. So adjust your clothing, your hair, anything that you need to make sure that you are in your most comfortable space. And then just do a quick scan from top to bottom, head to toe. So eyes are closed. Soften your eyelids, relax your jaw. Release any tension you may be holding in your shoulders, and then that same relaxation going all the way down your arms into your fingertips. Arms are resting softly at your sides with hands, fingers naturally opening. And then just moving through your body, release, soften through your torso. Relax the muscles in your legs. And allow your feet to naturally open wide on the mat. If you feel yourself holding your feet in it all, just let them go. And then take these final moments to allow yourself to surrender and completely melt away. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana so you can stay in this relaxation pose for as long as you would like to. Sometimes this is a difficult pose because it's hard to turn off the thoughts, and we might feel restless and be moving, but I really invite you to take a few minutes here in quiet, in solitude, to just relax. And then as you do begin to come out, just add gentle movement in until you feel ready to come up to a seat. But thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you had a great practice, and we hope you will return, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for sharing your light. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste.